a few days or like that week before it was going to be banned, like TikTok creators or like those influencers and stuff, they started coming on TikTok and exposing secrets about themselves or something. Like anything that they create, then they start saying, you know what, it wasn't exactly like how I was portraying it, it wasn't that deep. Or some people will be like some certain situations that seemed realistic, then they just come and say, you know what, it was rehearsed, or it was, I planned the whole thing. That's what people were doing.
I thought I was crazy, but that guy, he is crazy.
That's just how a lot of men act. They just lie right in front of your face, tell you exactly what you want to hear.
And you will believe.
You will believe.
How you know?
For some reason, right? The white people colonized us, they still stand on the fact that they did us a favor, and them still being involved is a favor, and they are doing so much good for us. Yet we all know that's not it.
I don't know if Ibrahim is awakening other African presidents or what. I don't know, but people have been doing things. Visa requirements are being removed in African countries such as Kenya and Ghana for other Africans. So now you can go to Ghana, you can go to Kenya without any visa requirements at all.
You would think after we reached so-called independence because, and now our patriotic fathers had in power, like why did they keep it like that? Like where you see another black person and they require the same visa process you need to go to a white person's country to come to an African country. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. AI is really taking over so many jobs.
Which only makes us have more jobs is what you are not understanding. If more industries are overtaken by AI, it only means more things are... AI is responsible for more things. AI is not a person, it's controlled, coded, maintained by us people who are in the tech world.
What's happening around the world? Ashwagandha. Where do we get what is red in the shell? Ashwagandha. From Cape to Cairo, we got the news and the info we tell. Every minute, any second, stay tuned. Stay prepared. Ashwagandha, ashwagandha. What's new, brand new, give me hope. Ashwagandha, ashwagandha. With the updates, that's how we roll.
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Ashwagandha. It's been long. I had actually missed you guys. I didn't know that I would get to a point that I would miss getting in front of the camera, talking to people. Yeah, it's been long and a lot has been going on, and the worst feeling that I had, right, is knowing that so many things are going on around the globe, but we are not talking about them on camera, you know. So yeah, I actually feel good coming back to talk to you guys. Gigi, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been surviving.
Oh, sorry, as you can see, we have a guest. As usual, we'll give you our first guest in 2025, Mr.
Tanaka Muvezwa.
Tanaka Muvezwa.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming here.
Should I call you Mr.?
Yo, welcome you, Mr. Tanaka. Should I call you Mr.? And also we have Mr. Oga behind the camera. Mr. Oga, how have you been?
I've been good, my guy.
That's good. Yeah. Mr. Tanaka, how have you been throughout the week?
This week has been amazing.
Why has it been amazing? What exactly? Spill out the news. What happened? What has been amazing?
I've been making a lot of money, right?
Is it?
Nah, I can't talk about it on camera. It's confidential.
All right. As for me, my week has been the worst. I don't know why it started on a very bad note. You know what? Ask me why.
Why?
The exams. I've been writing my finals. Yeah, it's been quite difficult. The reason being, I was occupied before the week that I started my exams. I had visitors. Let me just tell you, I had visitors or came to visit me. And you know me, I start preparing just before the exam. Like we are those people you call cram pass and forget. We start cramming before the exam start, right? And then I had visitors the weekend before the exam, so I couldn't cram. You get it?
So things.
So
went
yeah,
wrong.
I was. I don't want to use this word, but yeah, it was very difficult for me for the exam. But yeah, we always managed to push through.
And that's what I meant.
And also, I faced some dark forces. I think my village people have finally located me because I had a sickness. I had a fever for a week, guys. 1 full week. I've been sick, getting shivers, getting. Yeah, it was really bad. Anyway, let's not get deep into that. Let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about the things that have been happening. So recently, I think this has made so much noise.
So you are not going to tell us how you almost died?
That's what I've been saying. Like the sickness almost made me. It was really bad. I almost died. For real. I almost died. But anyway, I fought like a man. I'm here with you guys today. Let's get into it.
Alpha male energy, huh?
You get it. Let's get into it. So, guys, did you hear the TikTok ban in the US?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me what you think about it. What you have heard, what you think about it. Tell me everything. I want to know what's going in your head about the TikTok ban in the US.
I mean, what I know is that they were trying to ban TikTok because apparently it was taking information from their citizens or whatever. So they felt like, they're breaking some form of laws or something by taking like information from like the users of TikTok.
Okay.
Like, that was the main consensus or whatever, which is why they wanted to ban it, or they even banned it in quotes for a little while.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't even care about the nitty-gritties of stuff. Like, I just like the conspiracies around things that happen. Like, that's my biggest thing. I like conspiracies that come from things that governments do. That's my favorite thing about anything.
Mm-hmm.
But so with TikTok, what I want to also talk about is how basically Americans, right? They're the ones who were getting TikTok banned from them. So then what they did is they knew the date when it was going to be banned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like a few days or like that week before it was going to be banned, like TikTok creators or like those influencers and stuff, they started coming on TikTok and exposing secrets about themselves or something.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah.
But it's crazy. What would you do that knowing that you?
Crazy.
But I'm sure so many, like a larger population in the US, they knew they were going to come back.
No, they genuinely believed that it was being banned.
That's why they were
it
doing
was
that.
being banned. Like it went to like different. You know how America is like different legal levels of like the Supreme Court, judiciary system. I don't know how it really works. I don't want to like, but it went to like almost like the highest court, and they said it's being banned. So at that point, right? Because it kept being a bit of a back and forth. There was a time when it was like it's going to be banned. Then there was a time when they're like, oh, they're going to try to appeal for like to extend it for like maybe another year or something. Then that appeal got reversed, and they're like, no, it's being banned on 19th. I think it was 19th January or something. So I think at that point people were like, it's done.
But what secrets were people talking about though?
Like, let's say, on TikTok, people have certain content that they create, right? So, let's say, for example, someone who's like doing, like, let's say, cooking videos or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they come and they say something like, oh, to be honest, I actually wasn't cooking every day. Like, maybe
Okay.
I start showing you guys Do you understand?
Bits and pieces.
Or
Okay.
like something like in the people like anything that they create, then they start saying, you know what, it wasn't exactly like how I was portraying it. It wasn't that deep. Or some people will be like some certain situations that seemed realistic, then they just come and say, you know what, it was rehearsed, or it was, I planned the whole thing. That's what people were doing, like exposing their own content.
I get it.
Then fast forward, it gets banned for like only a few hours. Like it
Hours?
was only down for a little while. Like on Sunday it got banned. And then I think, I don't know if it was on
Tomorrow
Monday
morning.
or the same, yeah, tomorrow morning it was back.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, everyone was saying she'd come back and explain.
But people
How
are
you
saying that
say-
when TikTok came back, right, the algorithm has changed. Like they're not
Oh
seeing the same stuff that
that's
they've
the other
seen before.
conspiracy that
Yeah.
there's the conspiracy that it was never meant to be banned in the first place. It was just the whole thing. The first one I heard is that Facebook or Meta was buying TikTok.
I also heard that.
So
Yeah.
then the whole
also heard
thing
that.
was just to like, increase the value, or like things to do with trading in stocks and stuff. I don't really understand, so I couldn't explain to you, but something like it was just the whole business thing that was going on, nothing to do with actually wanting to ban TikTok.
My brother, what do you think about this whole situation though?
Think about the situation. I feel like TikTok had it coming, because if you look at it from around 2022, 2023,
Yeah.
UK fined TikTok about 13 million pounds
Ah,
for, I think it was data breaching.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
And then following up to this, I think TikTok also had issues of like, sharing data within China, like platforms and stuff.
So that was the reason why they wanted to ban it in the US.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also they found loopholes in like the algorithms. I think around 2023, people were, let's say, depression on TikTok. When they searched for, let's say, videos on depression, they could be led to a video on suicide, and actually led to one person actually committing suicide because of the algorithm saying suicide, it shows suicide, not actually offering help to the person.
Okay, okay.
One of the main reasons why TikTok was banned in the USA was because a lot of unfiltered news were coming out of TikTok. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It was a platform that people had the opportunity to say their mind, to talk about government conspiracies, do you understand? Classified information and stuff like that. And especially when the Israel Palestine war started in 2023 October, there has been a massive support for the Palestinians and
Yeah,
very
the whole
little for the
situation.
Israelis. So it became a
Concentrate.
platform where actual news was being transmitted, do you understand? And people were actually getting the information about the war specifically. So, and the Israelis always control the narrative because they control the mainstream media in the West and the politicians.
Yeah, they surely do.
And they didn't want people to see what they were actually up to in Gaza. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons why it was banned. But there's a lot of details about that as well.
I actually also share the same opinion, because not that I thought about it before, but when TikTok came back for the Americans or whatever, they like a lot of like creators were coming and speaking about how their For You pages like have changed.
Yeah.
Or like when you try to search up certain content about, let's say,
The LA fires were not showing.
Mr. Trump or the LF, anything
Yeah.
like that can like go back to their government or anything they support, you like either say no results, or it will show you like less results, or like less informative like videos than it used to before. So I also share the same thing, that like TikTok was a place where people could like say anything, you know, spread anything that they want, and then they claimed that they were banning it. But I think they only like took it down for a little while to put like some measures in place to like censor what is shared and like what is not shared. That's like what I got from when TikTok then came back.
Yeah, there's a good
They were
perspective.
saying that TikTok was a Chinese app, yeah,
Exactly.
like stealing
But it wasn't like the
US
owner is
stuff like
Singaporean, right?
yeah, like
Yes.
it's from Singapore. It has nothing to do
It
with
literally has
China.
nothing to do with China.
like they were just looking for excuses.
If
for
anything, like when they were trying to ban TikTok, all the Americans were trying to go to like a Chinese version of
Yeah.
TikTok called Red Note.
No,
Yeah, Red
but I
Notes.
think if we look at it, the history of TikTok, before it was an app called Musically, which was
Oh,
a
yeah,
Chinese
yeah.
app.
Ah.
So I think also the growth from it had 17 million users as Musically. Then when it was changed to TikTok in the US, it became
Was
over
more.
100 million users.
So they panicked.
Then they decided we have to control this.
Okay.
I mean, now to be fair, they brought it back, but they are definitely controlling it now. I don't know
for
about
sure.
Ibrahim, but for when it comes to like any media coming out of America or anything associated with those people is very much censored now.
Because TikTok used to be a free speech platform, but
Yeah.
now it's heavily censored.
Oh
Censored,
yeah,
You
for
understand?
sure.
You can't even support Palestine, for example, or expose the government lies in your country without them suspending your
account.
Yeah,
account or,
taking
like,
down your
videos.
video.
Yeah, but so TikTok's now to use like any other app, Instagram, Facebook, and shit. There's a lot of
Yeah.
censoring going on.
Anyway, it was one of the things that Donald Trump did since his inauguration, since he won the election. He removed the ban of TikTok in the US. But then also we have another incident that happened. Talking about America, another incident happened. So Elon Musk went up there. There were so many influential characters there. Elon Musk. I mean, I can name a few. Some people were there, like Elon Musk. What's this? Mark Zuckerberg was also there,
Yeah,
right?
there
Who
was
also
a
there?
lot of people.
There was someone else. I mean, there were so many influential people, rich people.
Yeah,
there.
the
And then
previous president.
And then Elon Musk was there, and then he did his whole speech, and then when he finished, he did his salute. And some people are claiming that it was a Nazi salute. I don't know what you guys think, but I actually believe that it was a Nazi salute.
Why do you believe
From the
that?
way he did it.
So you think he said
And
down?
then it was straight. If it was like he said, I pour my heart to you, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
If-
and then
if
it
you
was
are- if
like,
you-
I
let's say, for
I would think
example-
that someone would do this, and then the heart, you know. Did you get
Let's
what I'm
say you are
saying?
in the heat of the moment and
Yeah.
you pour your heart out to people. How would you do it?
I will do this
With energy
pour-
and you're in the moment.
Okay,
you're
let me put
feeling-
the energy.
Everyone is around you.
Let me put the
People
energy.
are cheering for you and you
Yeah.
just want to. How are you gonna do it?
Let me put the energy. I pour my heart to you. My heart. goes
And
to
then
you.
what did he do?
He was like, my heart, guys, come on.
Do you really think there's like much of a difference between what you did and what you did?
Yeah.
Genuinely.
The first time I did it, my hand was open, and the second time it was closed.
So you think in the heat of the moment?
That's how Hitler.
Wait.
Did it.
My thing is you are feeling all the emotions of it. You really think there's really a difference between this and racing? You think there's a big difference?
Don't you see it? Let me.
I see it,
Close
but I'm
and
saying
open.
when you're like in a situation, you're just excited and you have to pick between this and this. Like, is there a big difference?
Normally a person would do the thing that I did the first time. Like,
But
normally.
you do know he has a condition, right, of some sort.
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing.
For me personally, maybe he did.
What condition does he have?
I think it's autism.
Yes.
He's autistic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Elon Musk is autistic.
Yeah, and everyone knows. Like you, in fact, you don't have to be a medical. You have be honest. That's not the only video you saw of him of the inauguration, right? Is that the only video you saw?
Yeah, one of the videos has been serious and acting. Perfect.
What videos did you see?
I mean, I've seen him acting like on the Sheldon, that movie, that series.
No, that's a series.
seen him acting.
On the inauguration, like that's just they.
Oh,
Maybe you
those gestures, I've seen
haven't
another video.
interacted with a lot of videos of him, but
Okay.
if you have,
Mhm.
you can tell. Like
Something is wrong.
he's not like
Something is there.
yeah, it's not wrong. It's just that's just how he is.
But what do you think about that
I think-
Osalot thing?
From my point of view, we need to also consider the psychological factors. Yeah,
Right.
in front of cameras, probably over hundreds of millions of people watching.
Yeah.
You've got the most influential people in the room.
Mm.
Like you probably practice overnight on the mirror, like, I'm gonna do this. But then you end up doing something else.
Something else.
Yeah, I feel like it happens. Like that's my
Yeah.
thing. Like I think like and a lot of us can relate. Like you can practice something as much as you want to, but when you're in a situation, the pressure of a lot of eyes and or you yourself you're overwhelmed and excited, you can
Yeah.
tend to like do something the opposite, complete opposite of what you want to do. I do
But coming
agree
to think
that
of
like
it-
the way it looks is bad.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I don't think he sat down days before and like thought about it like, oh, I'm gonna go do like that.
Coming to think of it, I think also the
It's a
points
bit
you're talking
far-fetched.
about autism in the psychological state right now. Because I saw this other video, it was like,
That's why I was asking
People are saying he was
you.
rebooting.
That's why I was asking you, haven't you seen other videos
Oh,
of
yeah,
him that
yeah.
day?
Honestly, I don't know. I think people are just using this opportunity to throw Elon Musk.
For sure.
I'm not a big fan
like,
of Elon Musk, yeah.
Me too.
But
so that
there've been a lot of politicians in America, you and EU, that have done similar similar things as Elon Musk did in the recent years, but like no one has accused them
Said
of being
anything.
a Nazi member or anything else. I think people are just leveraging on that.
because it's Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's
It's Elon Musk, yeah.
and people always want something to talk about at the end of the day. That's my opinion.
Yeah, my fellow Africans were like, yeah, this Nazi guy, what is this?
I
What
know
is
even
this?
his own
Americans,
white people were
even
saying
his own white
like,
people were
yeah.
saying.
I
the same
genuinely don't think he sat down and thought, oh, let me go stand up in front of people and do such a thing.
But
that
did you guys
represents hatred and all? Like, I don't think he would want that for himself. I don't think
Yeah.
intentionally sat there and thought, when I stand up there, I'm going to do a Nazi salute.
But did you guys know that he actually acted the movie? The whole movie? It was part of
Elon.
the movie. Elon.
Really?
Don't
When was
you know about it? He featured.
He
What is-
wasn't
what was
he
the-
wasn't
What's the
really
name?
acting. He was just there.
He was there, but he actually said things. He did, right?
When was that?
What's the name of the show?
It's called Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon. No, it's
Young
it's-
Sheldon.
Is that,
Is it
is that
Young
not what
Sheldon?
you're
No.
talking about?
It's the other one. The other one.
I
about
mean,
Sheldon,
that's the
but
one
other
I know.
Or Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
No, he was not on Pink Pay. He was Young Sheldon where you
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, between the two, he was there. Talking about movies and
But he didn't talk, he was just
Yeah.
there.
he didn't talk, really.
Yeah. He was
Oh.
like in the movie he was acting as himself.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's like the show is just about like a smart child, like who knows like a lot of things. Like it's very, very smart. So then he basically came up with a way of like making spaceships go up to like another planet or something.
Yeah.
So like on the show it just shows the small boy's notebook coming to Elon Musk and then he's just reading it and he's
You
like,
know,
okay,
you know
I'm
that
gonna
actually
take
Oh.
Elon Musk has acted in several movies.
Yeah, he features in a lot of movies
Iron Man,
as himself.
2010,
Oh, he was in Iron Man.
Machete Kills.
I don't know that one. I don't know that
Why him? 2016. Men in Black. That's crazy.
Oh, he was yeah, that's
I
great.
can't remember because I've
Me
watched
too.
that.
Me too.
Because when he acts in quotes, he's not really acting. He like
It's like-
appears as himself. Like it's like Elon Musk in the movie. Like
Okay.
his business self. And then most of the times, like the actors are like coming with something to him. So he just like appears as like a surprise guest type thing. That's what he usually does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that this guy does. I think was he the owner of Marvel Studios? He
Who's
died.
Stanley.
Huh?
The Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley. He also like shows up on this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, those
It's a
people.
sneaker.
Yeah.
Talking about movies and shows, guys. There's this show called Young, Rich and Famous. I don't know if you've watched it. Gigi, I'm sure you've watched
Of
it.
course,
Mhm.
I watch everything.
So people are talking about the wigs that our African women were wearing. The wigs. Did you see the wigs?
I did. You know, I mean, I don't even like wear wigs or like the but as much as I don't wear wigs or something, it was not looking good on that show. Like there was a lot going on. They should like put more budget on the people stuff.
Yeah. Like these are people, young, rich, and famous. You're telling us that these people are famous and rich, and they're wearing this kind of wigs. Even our female, big female. I don't know what she does, but that Zodwa.
Did you know that she was on the show?
Zodwa, like Jilimbi's ex-wife.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, she was on the show. She
For
was
a little
officiating
while,
the
like
wedding.
she was the officiator.
And there are things that people are saying that she was allegedly in a relationship with one of the other actors on the.
You know
on the
what?
show.
This show is just a lot of drama, rumors, and whatnot.
Yeah, but the wigs. Who else? Any the Nigerian woman.
Yeah, his was bad.
Two Baba's wife.
His was bad the whole series, the whole season was bad. But like my favorite part of the show was honestly Diamond Platinum. Shout out to you.
That guy is crazy. I thought I was crazy, but that guy, he is crazy.
I think
He knows how to deal with
I think he's
baddies.
just a man. He's a typical man.
Right? And he knows how to deal with baddies.
Men lie.
I don't know,
Right
but why
in
was
front of
that
your face.
girl blinded so much?
Because that's what men do. Like
I think it also comes with the fame. If I'm famous, you will definitely
no,
be
it's
blinded.
not. It
with
doesn't
the fame
even
and
have
everything.
anything to do
And the
with
money.
it. No.
Don't you think that girl is materialistic?
She is, but I'm saying his character, right? Literally has nothing to do with being rich. Like that's just how a lot of men act. They just lie right in front of your face, tell you exactly what you want to hear,
And you
then
will believe.
You will believe because I feel like women, when they just want something, they want it. So no amount of red flag, no amount of
Can change
anything. And in that moment, you can't see a red flag, right? Because
You're in
they're
love.
telling you exactly what you want to hear, right? So all you're doing is hoping for the future. You're like, yes.
But anyway, what I want to say is shout out to my African brothers and sisters and mothers, because they were mothers.
Who are young.
You guys are really doing great. At least you managed to get a show on Netflix.
So my thing
It's a
is
good
they
thing. I'm happy for
they
you.
should remove the young.
Oh yeah, because it's a mixture. It's a mixture, right?
The only one
also-
who's young, I mean, Nadia and like maybe Fantana.
Yeah, Nadia
but
and
everyone
Fantana.
else
is old.
they are our aunties.
If I'm not mistaken, they're in their 30s or.
Yeah, most
Even
of
more,
them.
I feel like they're literally
Yeah,
in their
because
40s.
them
They just
zallies.
look good and they do a lot of makeup. I don't think they're in their 30s, most of those people.
Yeah, them surgeries and them.
Like, because if they are young, what are we? Kids. Right, and then how old, and then the 10 years old and the 8 years old, what do we call them? Babies?
No, we can't
and then
call
what
them
do
young.
we call the babies? Like, you know,
What do we call ourselves if you say that they are?
that's what I'm saying.
We should just say famous and rich Africans. Remove
Right.
the young.
The young needs to be removed.
It needs to be removed. It needs to be removed.
But I think from my point of view, maybe it was someone, maybe in Netflix headquarters, who maybe came up with the idea, just like, let me find most influential Africans.
Yeah.
Just come up with the show.
Yeah, which is fair, right? But when I saw young, famous, like the first time I saw it,
like,
and then what I then saw, I'm like,
but that's the age of the famous people.
but they're not young, is my thing. They're not old. I'm not saying they're old, but we
But they're
can't
not
say
young.
we can't like put young in
I
the
agree with
title.
you, yeah.
They even, like, it used to be called, I don't know if there was African in it, but I think it was Young African Rich.
Okay.
And this season, like, they removed the rich or something. Now it's Young Famous African. But
Okay.
for me, they were supposed to prioritize removing the young.
Yeah.
Like, can you call any young, like the one that two what's his name? Two Faces
Two
wife.
Baba.
No young. I'm buffet enough.
Fair enough, fair enough. Talking about Africans making us proud, guys. There's this guy called Ibrahim Traore. Is it Traore or Traore? Mr. Oga?
I don't know.
It's Traore.
Traore.
Yeah.
Traore.
Traore.
No, that guy has been making us proud.
Yeah, that's my role model. I aspire
Those
to
new
I
reforms.
aspire to
Have you heard what he
change.
did?
Yes, but I don't understand. I aspire to make change by the time I'm 36 because he's only 36.
He's only
year old.
36.
Yeah,
That's young.
yeah.
Like in the political
Especially
world.
in the
in
in
world,
terms
that's
of
young.
making a change in the world.
In the world, that's young.
Like doing
That's young.
something revolutionary
Yeah.
that changes the whole country at 36. That's young
Mm-hmm.
because we know, like, the whole consensus of politics in Africa, especially, is it has to be old money. Like, yeah,
He is the president of Burkina Faso. FYP, if you for your own information. FYI, he is the president of Burkina Faso. So you said
right.
you know
So
what
I
he
was
did?
saying, in terms of like politics, in terms of imparting change that revolutionizes the whole country,
Yeah.
the whole big space.
Yeah.
36 is young.
Yeah, it is young. It is young.
So because a lot of people who are in power or whatever, I don't think 36, you are like still in the low level. You're trying to climb up. It's the age.
Because in some countries you cannot be a president whilst you're under the age of 40. Yeah. But he is the president at the age of 36. So we say
Yes, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
why we're
So
saying
it's
he's young.
like,
Yeah.
it's empowering. Like, I aspire to be like him, to have done something not only for myself. I think a lot of times this society we live in, is more important to like have reached your personal goals. Like by 36, having reached your own personal goals, becoming a millionaire, billionaire, having your house, kids, that's the main goal in life.
Yeah.
These days. Like when you reach 36 and you're at that stage in your life where you've done good for yourself, it makes sense. But for me, he is a role model in the sense that I would love to, by the time I reach that age, have done like a difference in the world at large, or maybe in my country, let's say, or in Africa.
Yeah.
Like just something that's not for myself, something that impacts a larger group of people that have nothing to do with me. That would be good.
Let's tell them what he did.
Yeah, tell us what it is.
I think I maybe go through some of the things he did.
Of course, yes, please.
I think firstly he refused IMF loans. Secondly, he cleared Burkina Faso's debt.
That's yeah.
He also increased rice production, the GDP.
Okay.
Also increased production of tomatoes. So looking at what he's done, he's basically increased the agricultural produce of Burkina Faso. He's also banned the wearing of a British made
Exactly, those wigs, right? Yeah, that was my big. That was
I
the
think
best- the
that's
best part.
symbolic.
That's symbolic, man. I really love that policy. Yeah.
But my thing is, how did you go about like? I feel like a lot of African countries, they feel the need to like accept, like we need the help from outside. So my thing is like, how did he manage to like just reject all the loans from outside, and some more manage to make it in their own country by themselves?
I think from my point of view, I think he assessed what Burkina Faso has to offer. And if you really think about it, Africa is a very rich continent. They have countries with like fast wealth. So I think he analyzed the agricultural sector, also the mining sector. He has like taken control of the gold in Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
So I believe that he's assessed his current assets as the president. as a nation, and seen how we can possibly increase, like, exports, and how we can grow the nation locally, how people can gain in employment without the use of, foreign like investment or IMF or any other bodies that want to come in and benefit from the nation while the nation loses its reputation.
Yeah. I also think, like what Tanaka said, you understood the fact that Africa can develop on its own.
On its own.
You don't need foreign aid in order to prosper. And they've been receiving foreign aids for a very long time, since before they got their independence. And where did that get them? And suddenly, when they started rejecting the aids, now their country is developing, infrastructure is improving, it's creating jobs, it's creating factories and everything. And this man alone single-handedly done something that many African countries couldn't do since they got their independence. So anything is possible in Africa. We can do everything by ourselves because we have the intellect, we have the knowledge, we have the zeal to do it. We just need someone on top that would direct us and lead us towards that
To
path.
the right path.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Like my favorite part of the whole situation was after he did all this, the French, I don't know, do they have a president or prime minister? I'm not sure. He
President.
gave a whole speech where he's going like, these people were not grateful for what we did for them, type thing, because
That's how you know
for
you
some
did something.
reason, right? The white people who colonized us, they still stand on the fact that they did us a favor, and them still being involved is a favor, and they are doing so much good for us.
Yeah.
And yet we all know that's not it. Like they're giving us stuff just to like hold us back and then control us, and then we keep needing them. They keep giving us money we can't pay back, and it's a whole cycle where they like continue to be in control of us. But basically he was there, sitting there, he was standing there like a victim, like, oh, but we've been helping you, like you guys are going to see some you're going to come crawling back time shit. Then my role model responds,
Oh, it's a role model.
he's a role model. That's who I want to be in the future. He comes back and he's like, essentially he said, fuck you.
yeah. I think he was like
In a sophisticated
Look
way. Respectfully.
Fuck you.
it's crazy
It's
how
like, what do you mean?
What I like about that guy, right? He's always in his military regalia.
Yeah. He is who he is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He doesn't wear a
stands for
suit, bro. He's camouflage and his
it. Like he
Aeta.
is who he is and he stands for who
he's
he
always
is.
yeah.
it's crazy
It's always
how,
ready.
how President Macron has had the audacity to tell Africans and African leaders that we are not grateful. But then whenever an African country or African head of state ask them to leave Africa, they now don't want to leave.
Right. Because
Why?
if you're doing it for us, then when we
Exactly.
now say, oh, thank you, it's fine, now leave, you don't want to leave. Why?
Exactly. So there's something in it for them as well.
Of course. And he stood there.
Yeah.
And he stood there like, we're doing you a favor. We're not getting anything. That's the attitude of course, I'm not like quoting them verbatim because I don't remember. But that's essentially what he was doing. Then Ibrahim also came in and he's like, bro,
Middle fingers.
Yeah,
we are doing it without you. So there was nothing to be grateful for.
Yeah.
We would never be grateful for, and we also do not need you ever. And I was like, yes. Well,
Like
the
our
problem is
president.
these
Sorry?
people think they're so relevant and they're doing so much for us, and they know that they're not, and they stand there so hypocritical. They talk about Africa like we are some orphan who needs help, and
But who does this guy remind you of?
I don't know.
who?
Robert Gabriel Mugabe.
Moga.
Maybe
Keep
in
your
the
brain-
beginning, but like
let me try to
eventually just
imitate his
fell off
accent.
and
keep your Britain and I'll keep my Zimbabwe.
That's what he
are
said.
not gay.
We will never be a colony again.
I love that guy.
And in the beginning, but then he just went ahead and fucked shit up after all of that. So what was the point?
Yeah.
But you know what's impressive about Ibrahim Traore? That he started in September 2022 after the coup. And in the space of, let's just say, 2 years and a couple of months, it's been able to shake, a president of France.
Bro,
That's what I'm saying. When you're serious, you get things done. Robert Mugabe, he came there, spoke everything, gave everyone hope. Look at where we are now. He's gone now, but he paved the way for where we are right now.
Yeah.
Let's actually be honest.
but I mean, he did stuff. He did stuff.
And
Did stuff.
you guys also have to put in consideration the fact that Zimbabwe was sanctioned, heavily sanctioned.
And
he was
he kept the
targeted
country going.
specifically
He kept
because
the
of
country
that.
going regardless.
Yeah, but he kept the country going regardless.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
At least, we have to give him his flowers for what he did good, and of course he did.
Yeah, but who
something
was he
also-
doing that good for?
You know what, guys? But we also have to appreciate that, he worked to give us back our land. So the land is from God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
He
why
did
I
some good.
mentioned that, like, in the beginning, it was like brilliant. Like, those people at the end of the day, right? They predominantly chased the white people away. They took back our country. My thing is, after they took, it's like, let's say Ibrahim, right? He did a coup. Imagine after he did that whole coup, he got the country for himself, and then after all that, nothing happens.
Okay,
It's like you took it back for us, but what are you now
okay, let's
doing
look at it
for
from the
us?
perspective that, like, okay, look, you get land.
Mhm.
Now it's your choice as a citizen. For like agriculture or whatever, factory, whatever you do with the land, it's your choice. You have to grow on what is given, because first things first, it's free.
You're now
So you
controlling the
guys are
outcome.
saying it was
I know you
and
did.
you see, even though I cannot believe the fact that he was just a bit greedy and he didn't want to let go of
yes,
power.
like, can we admit
understand?
that? Like,
Yeah, that's why he fucked up. He
that's
stayed in
what
power
I
for too
said. I
long.
said in the beginning
That's
it
why he
was
fucked
good.
up, but-
Like, he took us out. We were going places. Zimbabwe was good. There's a point where Zimbabwe and being good were associated. It was Zimbabwe, bread basket. Things were going good. Life was good. And then
I think he only fucked up because he stayed in
You
power
know,
for too
the
long.
thing is, maybe he got in over his head. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When he realized that Zimbabwe has become a prime target for the Western countries, and then he maybe think that this is his fight. He fought them before, and he can fight them again, not knowing that he was.
I
ignorant.
know.
but
brother was not
my
someone-
only thing is, I hear that there were sanctions and shit like yours, but I don't. That's not the only thing that was holding the country back, in my opinion.
What else?
There was a lot of corruption going on there. The little that we did have, they were taking it for themselves. Those people till today.
But see, the thing is, there's corruption.
The only thing
everywhere.
that-
There's corruption everywhere.
Yeah, and they take it a step up, is a notch up. Like, sanctions are not the only thing wrong in Zimbabwe. They could take away sanctions. They could have taken away sanctions that time, and we still wouldn't be where we were supposed to be. And right now, we will still not be where we're supposed to be today. That's just my opinion.
I think where our revolutionaries fucked up is staying in power for too long. Look at Nelson Mandela, brother. He got into power for a considerable amount of time,
And
then he left.
With
And now people love him. You cannot talk something bad about Nelson Mandela in SA.
But you know,
Like, that's where he
guys, at the
went
end of
all
the
wrong.
day, I personally believe that no one's perfect and nothing can
Of
ever
course.
be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, even we have revolutionists in Africa. We have Mandela, we have Mugabe, we have even other guys in other nations, and also have this guy Ibrahim who came in.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything he's doing is perfect, but what he's doing, no one has been able to do it in the past maybe 10 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So for our comparison, the only comparison we have right now is probably the likes of Mugabe and Mandela.
Yeah.
So we also have to give Ibrahim a time, I think,
We'll see after 10 years if
Yeah.
he's still really doing what he's
rather than
claiming that he wants to
taking
do.
him against 35 years.
Guys,
You know,
you can
right?
speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, yeah, I think it is time for African youth to wake up. Do you understand? Because the majority of
I hear
African
that.
countries
Mr. Oga had to give his speech.
are being ruled by older men.
Yeah,
Do
like
you
let's just
Yes.
do this thing.
Speak, my brother.
As
Speak.
young
Speak.
people.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
time.
It's time.
The elders should move on.
Like they've
Move
been
on.
doing this thing for the longest.
Exactly.
And my thing is
Go to the village. This is retirement age. Go
that's
and-
why I was saying Ibrahim is young, right? Because the consensus for a very long time has been people who are in power are of a certain age, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's who's in power. Like it's time to shift. Like let's now do 30 to 40. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Because
We need change.
like as an African elder, you can't expect young people to believe or to like give their future to leave their future in your hands, the future that you would most likely not experience,
Right,
because this
and
guy
that you
will
don't
definitely be dying in
understand.
2 years.
Yeah.
So why should I trust you with my future when you're not gonna be there?
And we can't, because I feel like we're fighting for different things. These people, the ones who are there right now, I feel like they're still holding on to the thing where they're just fighting to have power, to have control, because they went through a time where they had that stripped away from them, where they were humiliated and they had to be
So they
under
are all
white
still holding
people.
on to
We
that.
never really experienced that. So our main goal is to like further the countries, to like push things, like further technology, further, ourselves. And for them, I think it's more of like taking back power from white people. So like we are all fighting for two different things.
That's a good point, honestly.
And I think right now in the age that we're in, that's why Africa, for now, we are like a step back from the white people. The white people are not fighting to take back anything because they've nothing to take back from anyone. They've had power for the longest. So that's why even the older people, they are ruling in a way of like advancing themselves. That's why they are going places. Whereas they left us with scars. They left these old men with scars, and they're trying to heal themselves. They're trying to like feel that power. They're trying to feel like they can rule. And it's fair, right? But I'm just saying, at this time in age, that's not what like the world like we need as a continent, as nations. We need to like now move forward and progress. And I think they're not living in the future. They're more of living in the present and healing themselves. That's why the younger people like Ibrahim are like could do better, would see like obviously like what Tanaka said, would see like what he would do in the future. But like from what he's done in the few years, he's more focused on how do we move forward independently.
Yeah, speaking about Africa, right? I don't know if Ibrahim is awakening other African presidents or what. I don't know, but people have been doing things. So, visa requirements are being removed in African countries, such as Kenya and Ghana, for other Africans. So now you can go to Ghana, you can go to Kenya without any visa requirements at all. But for Kenya, they are restricting Libyans and what's the other country?
Somalia.
And Somalis, yeah, they have to come with visa.
Why do you think
into
it's
the
like
country.
that? Why did they seclude those two specific
Why do they
countries?
exclude them?
I think possibly because of the activity that happened within Libya and Somalia, they may not be so conducive for Kenya and other countries that are surrounding, because there is a lot of activities that are terroristic in countries such as Libya and Somalia, and they do not benefit Africa as a whole. But we just hope that it changes, because we are all Africans at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, because why?
But guys, terrorism is happening in so many countries other than Libya and Somalia.
Maybe in there it's like more predominant.
You think so?
It's in Libya,
From what
for
I
example. Libya is an anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have a central government.
Yeah.
Like Libya has been ruled by warlords. killing innocent people for money and everything. Exactly. Since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi, Libya was plunged into chaos.
Yeah, they haven't had any peace
Yeah.
from that.
So to risk anyone in such
Like
a
it's that
situation
bad
is
to the extent that every family owns a weapon.
I mean, you
Every
have to
family.
protect yourself.
Yeah.
But you see,
Wars have been happening.
on this visa issue, I think honestly this is a big step forward because now it's only 2 African countries. I don't know if there are other African countries
it's only
that
2.
allow that.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I think all our head of states in Africa should follow suit.
Because why
Because
is it
those
even
borders-
there right now?
Exactly.
Like,
The
what is
Europeans
the
came to
purpose?
Africa
Yeah.
and they divided it for themselves and they built artificial borders.
Yeah.
So I
Or
think it's high time for us
you'd
to
think after we reached so-called independence in quotes, and now our patriotic fathers had in power, like why did they keep it like that? Like where you'd see another black person and they require the same visa process you need to go to a white person's
white
country
person.
to come to an
Yeah.
African country. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
it's
crazy.
all part of the divide and conquer.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
people
yeah,
apply
yeah.
in Africa.
Mhm.
I think honestly, this is just the beginning. I think more are going to follow suit. And
Exactly, yeah. At least it's a start, man.
Yeah.
It's a start.
No, for me, it's like anything like that.
It has to- it
that
has
was
to be
there
there.
before. What was the point of independence if, like, when you guys then came, you could like? There's so many things, right, that frustrate me, make me very angry. Because,
Very
like,
angry.
what was the point of all this independence when now us ourselves are in power and we're fighting against each other and we're
Calm down. I'm sorry.
Honestly,
I understand you.
I don't think
just
we
gonna become a
actually-
female
I
Ibrahim.
think we actually
Just
got
fix
our.
Yeah. It's
I
crazy.
actually don't think that we got our independence. We just
Yeah, it was a
transitioned
scheme.
We just because
We
I personally believe that we're still
we switched to the in between, like we are not enslaved,
still
but
slaves.
we are enslaved
We're still
stage.
outdated. Yeah.
We need
I believe, like, you know, if you've seen what Botswana has done, is also freed up like borders for like Southern African countries. Slowly, I think through Pan-Africanism, we are becoming more open to like around each other, and it's like starting like within, like, let's say SADC and the other, like, you know, regional states. You know, it makes it much easier. You know,
We're getting
sure.
there slowly but surely.
yeah. No, getting there we are, and just
At least, yeah,
baffled
steps
at
have
how
been
long it has taken us to start to get there.
Yeah. Mr. Tanaka, you had a question for me before. You said you had a question, right? About AI and something like that.
yes.
Yeah, please, can you ask the question?
Okay. No, we've been talking about Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk mentioned that AI will be basically like the death of us.
Oh, you said that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like it's far more dangerous than nuclear weapons, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Go on,
think
my
it is.
guy.
From my point of view, I think it's going to end a lot of industries. A lot of skills are being replaced. AI is really taking over everything.
I think it's for some sectors. Some sectors. We always okay. FYI, we always have this conversation with my friends. My peer. He's what are you studying?
Software engineering.
Software engineering, computer engineering. Mr. Oga is also studying software engineering. I always tell them that you guys, you are under you are
And that's it.
yes, because I don't want to use this word, but you are fagged. Okay, you are fagged. Okay, that's
And
what I wanted
then
to
we
say.
always say that who he thinks is under attack is the wrong person. We
No,
are not
they
the
are
ones
under
who are
attack.
under attack. The rest
Like
of the world
AI
is under attack.
AI is really taking over so many jobs.
Which
guys.
only makes us have more jobs is what you are not understanding. The more jobs everyone else, like it means AI.
It's not great. What do you mean?
If more industries are overtaken by AI, it only means more things are. AI is responsible for more things.
Anyway.
AI is not a person, it's controlled coded, maintained by us people who are in the tech world. So
Okay.
the more AI takes over everything else,
Yeah.
if anything, the more jobs the rest of us will know how to do
Can you
with
give
AI.
me a
have.
list of jobs, okay, that won't be taken over by AI?
That won't.
At least that you think that these jobs won't be taken over by AI. Your own perspective, what do you think? Tell me.
Okay, I think
Florist. Janitor.
It can be taken. You can make like a robot,
Vacuum
like a
cleaner.
vacuum
yes,
cleaners
yes,
and everything.
yes.
Yeah.
I think
Just give me a list.
first data science. We'll always need people who assist the data.
All right.
Then we have people who do machine learning for AI. Basically, I can give a list in the AI model.
Guys, what about the medical field? Are you crazy, guys? Why are you
Anything,
telling me
you
people
guys,
in the
like,
medical field? What are you
right
saying?
now,
Yeah.
what people who are in tech are working on is taking jobs of people in the medical field, people in the business field.
That's
And in the
crazy.
next 5 to 10
That's
years,
the stupidest thing I've heard ever since I was born. That's crazy. You know what? In the medical field,
that's
it's like
the truth. I feel like you people should accept it, right?
We just don't help people medically, give you pills and everything.
No, don't
We're
take it.
also-
Don't be defensive.
we're
All you
also-
have to do is go on the offensive.
Why are you not letting me
Get
finish?
in the tech field as a health personnel. Get in the tech field as a business person, and you have a job in the future. Because what I keep trying to explain to people is, right, AI will take over, but it's not a person. It always needs a personnel. So if you go on the offensive as opposed to being on the defensive, you go places. But if you
That
defend
was-
yourself as a human being against AI, you're gonna be shocked.
That was a smart way to get into my mind.
No, it's the
I
truth.
applaud you for that.
Again, let me just add to
I applaud you for
what
that.
she said.
Yeah.
Let me give an example of COVID. We're not supposed to touch each other. But if first, let's say, example, we have an AI system robot that can deliver medicine, can do the swab test, can do everything.
Yep.
What's the point of having the nurse at the hospital?
Guys, one thing you don't understand. These guys, one thing you don't understand. We also work. People have emotions. AI will never have emotions. People have emotions.
but
But
Also-
it can
Also,
emulate
the
emotions.
difference-
You
the
know
difference
that, right?
between a healthcare personnel, a healthcare provider, and a machine is like is that we have emotions.
Have you tried
You can
to
take
talk
care of
to
you
talk to AI
emotionally.
before? Have you tried to have an emotional
Yes, it
conversation
can, but
with
can
AI?
it give it like physically, guys?
No, but
What do you
like-
do? What do you do? Even when you're a
Yes.
nurse, right? Are you allowed to like be hugging and caressing a person? Isn't that even unethical?
If it's necessary,
It's talking.
we do what's necessary.
Ah,
We do what is necessary for you to
I don't
have.
think that's unethical. You're not supposed to be
don't tell
caressing
me
and
unethical.
hugging and shit.
No.
But
So easy.
I've also seen some models of people who have invented AIs that are able to be girlfriends, who are able to laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
You
able
can
to
make
add
AI do
over into
anything
kids.
you need it to.
So it can do everything you can do in nursing.
That's what I'm saying. People, right, need to calm down, get into the reality of what life is going to be like. Don't be defensive. Don't fight. Don't feel like you're fighting against
No,
robots.
but you cannot
figure
make-
out
no.
figure out how you can work.
You cannot
with
make
these
a
things.
machine do what we do, guys. That's crazy.
You can, unfortunately.
Okay, but coming back to your jobs, you guys are fucked.
No, we are not.
Yes, you're fucked. Because I think that to some point, right, AI will come to a position that it will be able to upgrade itself. It doesn't need any software engineering or any computer engineer to help it upgrade itself. It will just do it by itself. And then you guys
That's not how AI works.
I'm sorry, you're studying for nothing. You
No,
are
but-
studying for nothing. You're not. You should go home and sleep.
Let me give you a
Eat,
scenario.
sleep.
I think everyone should take time, go watch a YouTube video on how AI works, and then give us your
Also, you're saying I don't have enough knowledge for me to be saying what I'm saying.
Okay,
What are you
wait.
saying? What are you trying to say? In fact,
But
let's just
let me
stop
give you a
it.
scenario.
Yeah, it's
Are you
obvious.
undermining my knowledge?
Tanaka wants to give
Are
you
you
a scenario.
undermining my knowledge?
No,
What are
we're
you
not.
saying?
What we're just
We're
trying to
not.
imply is that, like, you look at the example you said, it will need to be updated, it will need to be changed.
Okay, yeah.
That's given from, let's say, data by me, you, and her. So how can an AI understand what you need exactly?
Sorry, repeat your question.
Like, okay, you're talking about design. That's
Yes.
something you see with your eyes.
Mm.
And that's something, you know, okay, you're saying maybe I'm brown with like maybe a line,
Mhm.
and you want a specific design.
Mhm.
That cannot be done by AI, because AI can have maybe 5,000 different types of lines. But a human being, you're telling them, no, I want it like this, like that,
This
like that.
specific. It's not a human being. It doesn't necessarily have a brain of its own. AI is given data of things that have happened, things that are factual, things that are there. So it has a lot that it knows, and it needs someone who knows exactly what they
So
want
you guys
to
saying
narrow
that
it
AI
down.
will never have the capability to update itself? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I thought, because an update is released upon like users complaining that, look, the application is not doing this.
And
So
then
it's
a
telling the
programmer
developers,
changes
go
it.
fix it.
But
If AI were to like be able to to update itself or develop, that's going to be catastrophic for us.
And my thing is
it will
that
take
person,
over.
it would be a person, there will be one person who decides
But I'm sure
like,
it
I
will
want.
get to that point. AI would take
And at
over.
the,
Like
my thing
it
is,
will actually
at the end of
take
the
control
day,
of everything.
it won't do it on its own. That person will be a terrorist to the whole
Exactly
world
what we
who's
see
trying
on the
to do
movies.
something.
AI will take over and fuck the
It
whole
can't.
humankind.
can't
It
do
can't be
that.
contained. Let me tell you, it only operates like according to its
Right, even if it somehow decided to, which is impossible by the way,
Yeah.
but if it somehow decided to,
Take
the
over.
million group of developers will shut that shit down in seconds.
Mhm.
It's not a human being, doesn't have a conscience, it doesn't think on its own, it thinks based off of things that happened and things that exist, facts, and what a developer wants it to learn from the data and facts that it is given.
As the bigger person, I'm going to accept defeat because this conversation will never end. So, guys, we are now at the end of this episode, our first episode.
No, but we didn't talk about something.
What exactly?
That there was a ceasefire in.
I'm sorry about that.
Mr.
So we
Oga,
are
how
in a
did
celebrating
that come
mood.
about?
We are in a celebrating mood. So there was a ceasefire. There is no, we no longer have a war in Palestine.
Is it actually true? Is there actually a ceasefire? Is it going to last?
About last thing we don't know, but for now it's done.
Yeah, I think it's very good. And, you know, Palestine went through very traumatic times and the people were displaced.
Our heart comes to you.
You see, you did it in front of a camera.
Exa-
Imagine if
you know
people
why I
now
did
just
it?
start saying
You know
you
why
are a
I did
Nazi.
it? You were saying
People will clip this small part, right, and spread it on the
let me
internet and
reverse
say
it. But
you're
you
a
guys were
Nazi.
supporting that it's not a Nazi.
I'm just saying how these things come about.
Oh yeah.
And then now you won't have a platform to explain yourself. That
No,
was a joke.
let me say, guys, it was a joke. If you were listening to the whole episode, you would understand why I did that. Come on.
So, see,
Why
let me
did you
just
have
give everyone like the context of the ceasefire? So, on January 19th, 2025, there was a ceasefire deal that was signed by Israel and Hamas after 15 months of tragic war. And currently, there have been at least 180,000 deaths confirmed. And there are a lot of people that are under the rubble, and there are a lot of people that were gone missing that we don't know. We have to give it time to know the actual, the number of the actual fatalities. And the ceasefire has three phases. So the first phase, like hostage and prisoner exchange, which means for every, which is okay. So the release of the three Israeli hostages, primarily women and children, exchange for 30 to 50 Palestinians. And then the second phase is permanent ceasefire. So the first phase is hostage exchange.
Like they're basically giving back the
Exactly.
people they took.
And then the second phase is permanent and unconditional ceasefire. And then this third phase is return of deceased hostages. Because definitely on both sides, there are hostages that were held by each side that died during that time or during the operations.
Yeah.
There will be an exchange for that as well. But just to give you the scale of what actually happened, the amount of Israeli hostages that are currently in Gaza before this ceasefire was brokered was 109 or 106. But there are 9,000 to 12,000 Palestinian held hostage in Israel.
The difference in
That's
numbers.
crazy. But it's actually a good day that this ceasefire
They're now going back home again.
because these people have suffered for a very long time. A lot of people have been killed, mostly children and women. So I think it's a relief, and this is the bare minimum they can do. And the next thing that people are going to start fighting for is reparations being paid to Palestinians by Israel of the destruction that they've done in northern Gaza.
Yeah.
Because they've literally decimated 60 or 70% of the infrastructure, which is crazy. And even after this ceasefire, Israelis actually broke the ceasefire deal and they bombed few places, but people are not talking about it because the exchange of hostages taking place right now and people are distracted by that. And another interesting thing is if you look at this hostages that were released by Hamas and the hostages that were released by the Israeli armed forces, like the difference is clear. The hostages from Hamas are smiling. You understand that? They're even getting like gift bags and stuff like that. They are like bidding farewell to everyone. But the ones that were released from Israeli detention, if you look at them,
they went through a lot.
They went through a lot.
And that only says a lot.
Starved. That says a lot about this one. So
just
hopefully they see through all the stages and it just actually dies down.
Yeah. We hope so.
Anyway, my favorite. No, it's not my favorite, but we've come to the end of this episode. Thank you, Mr. Tanaka, for coming to. Thank you so much for being with us in this episode. We hope that you will come back again. Will you come back again?
Yeah, sure, I will.
Thank you so much.
Next episode, when he comes, we'll talk about theology and history.
Okay. He's stuff. All right. Yeah.
My guy is well informed on that, so you guys should stay tuned.
Of course, yeah. So this is our first episode in 2025. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, guys. Please show more support. We're in a new year. In this year, let's do it better. Show a
spread
punch.
love.
Let's spread love.
Kindness.
Exactly. You heard what Gigi said. Peace.